Living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
Americans spend billions of dollars on wearable technology to monitor, track, and improve health and fitness. But do devices like Fitbits, Apple Watches, and Microsoft Bands really help make you healthier? And what about other health devices being developed for personal use? Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. I'm your host, Lisa Sather. Today we'll talk about technology that can monitor your heart health, diabetes, and much more. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining us today is Dan Keith, CEO and founder of It Starts With Me Health, and Shireen Campbell, a medical claims data analyst for It Starts With Me Health. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Dan, before we dive into today's show, can you start out by telling us a little bit about It Starts With Me Health and what this company's all about?
Yeah, we started the company about 16 years ago in Missoula, and it was basically born out of the idea that some of the things I was seeing in the wellness industry, I didn't think were being done with a clinical focus. That seemed to be lacking. I'm a nurse by training. So started that, and what we started doing was health screenings for employers, where we would go out and draw blood and do the blood pressures. But over the years, we've actually become a lot more of a data company, where we're actually looking at data, that kind of data, as well as claims data, pharmacy data, and trying to put together clinical pictures of employees who are on an employer health plan with the ultimate goal of improving their health. And then, of course, the employer is interested not only in having a healthy employee, but they're interested in having a healthy health plan. So that's what we do. Yes,
of course. Very, very good. So obviously you have a passion for people taking an active role in their own health care. And can you talk a little bit about, do you believe this wearable technology that we're going to talk about today and fitness trackers can really help people be healthier?
Absolutely. I think it can, although I do think that it's up to the user. There's certain people that maybe just want to track their steps, and that's all they really need. There's other people with some of the technology we'll show later. There's some really wonderful things you can track and some health conditions that you can really do a lot of work as far as getting personal information on a day-to-day basis. And in that regard, it's really helpful, especially when you can take some of that information to your physician, and then the physician has a very aggregated, trended result that he or she can look at and help provide care.
Great. So let's talk about some of the wearable technology that's out there, and we'll start out by talking about the fitness trackers, whether they're Fitbits, whether they're Apple Watches or Microsoft Bands, and there's a lot of other devices. Shireen, can you just highlight a little bit about how these work?
Well, as you said, there's different devices out there. Some of them you can actually wear on your wrist. Others are a little bit more discreet. You can put them on your belt or on any other part of your body if you don't want them actually visibly displayed to anyone. And they track various data points, whether it be your heart rate or by GPS, where you go, how far you've gone, how quickly you've gotten there, whether you've gone upstairs or downstairs. And so there's a lot of different capabilities just depending on the device that you're looking at that you can track. Even sleep, actually. It will track your sleep.
Good to know. So how is knowing all of this information useful to folks? What do they do with that?
Again, like Dan said, really trending your overall health. How active are you every day versus, certain times of the day? For someone who sits a lot for work, being able to see, okay, I haven't got a lot of activity during the day, and having a fitness band or some sort of app reminding you, okay, it's time to get enough steps in today because you've been pretty sedentary all day. And so it kind of gives you little goals to reach during the day and that ability to track, okay, am I meeting my goals or am I not?
Yes, I know that's one of the things I like about mine is just that friendly reminder that pops up as you've been sedentary for a while. Can you talk about how accurate these devices are? Really, are they a reliable way for people to track their health and fitness?
Again, it's a good trending. Some of them have been around for quite a while and they're getting better and better. Others are newer to the market. They don't have as much testing maybe. So, really looking at some of the ratings and how people have used them and how people have received that data as far as how they see it's tracked, I think is really important. And there are some that are very accurate. You can get your heart rate, you can get how quickly you are pacing your run or your walk or whatever, and even the sleep. Like I said, you can track how restful your sleep is or how long you've been sleeping and see different trends in that way. So, yeah, there's different options out there, and accuracy is definitely one of those options.
One of the things I was thinking of is, Fitbit had a challenge for a while with their heart rate accuracy of their monitors, and I think they've fixed most of that.
Okay.
But we used to have people come in with their Fitbits on, and we would have our clinical pulse oximeter on, which does your oxygen level and your pulse, and so people would actually compare what their Fitbit was saying at the moment to the more clinical device. And what we've found over the past probably 3 years is those numbers have really started to come together.
Good.
So it's very good. I think most of the time that's pretty accurate. Now, my daughter and I were together last week, all week at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and so we were together all day. Were our steps exactly matched up with each other? No. I think every day she had 700 or 1,000 more steps than I had, but roughly it was pretty close.
Great.
Yeah.
We have about a minute left, and so maybe until we break a little bit here, but can one of you hit on privacy? Folks might be concerned that this is tracking all of his personal health information. Is privacy an issue or a concern for folks?
You want me to start?
Either one of
Okay.
you. Yeah.
It is. Most of the fitness trackers and so on, there isn't really a lot of real personal data there, other than maybe the demographics that you've entered into your profile. But when people are searching online for fitness devices and so on, you definitely want to check to make sure that they've run through the HIPAA process, that they're FDA approved, because a lot of devices aren't. They're just on the market and out there.
Okay.
So
Good information. We're going to be getting back to you in just a minute, so we're going to take a quick break. And coming up next, Dan and Shireen are going to show you some of the technology you can use to help monitor, track, and maintain or improve your health. These are some cool gadgets you won't want to miss. Don't go away. Welcome back. Dan Keith and Shireen Campbell are still with us, and they've brought some devices and mobile technology to help folks be more mindful about their health and be more active and informed in the way they work with their doctors and healthcare teams. Dan and Shireen, thanks for sticking around to show us some of the cool stuff you brought.
thank you.
So, what do you got for us?
Well, I guess maybe a couple things to start.
Yes.
One thing is, I guess it would be great if viewers would grab a pad of paper and a pen, because we're going to throw out some things that we don't necessarily have the device here, but there's going to be some things you might want to check out online.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, we've got a number of things here we're going to try to blaze through and show, but we aren't endorsing any of these. They aren't our products. We aren't making any money on it. We're just trying to show what's really cool and what's really helpful out there for people.
Perfect.
So,
sounds great.
so one of the first things I guess I wanted to do is I brought this Bluetooth speaker, and just to give people an idea of what Bluetooth is, essentially all Bluetooth really means is you don't need a wire to run between the devices. So if I have music on my cell phone and I connect Bluetooth through my phone to that speaker, the music on my phone is going to come out of the speaker. That's the way a lot of these devices work, the ones that work with smartphones. We have ones that you don't need a smartphone or a tablet for. But that's essentially what Bluetooth is, where the data is sort of flowing through the air to the unit. So,
Good.
So let's start there. Do you want to start? Should we start with the blood pressure?
Sure.
Maybe this blood pressure cuff. We've got a couple of different blood pressure cuffs here. This one is Bluetooth, as I just described, and this one will run on your cell phone or your iPad. This one does not require a cell phone at all, but this one is the top-rated one by Consumer Reports if you don't use a smart device. What's really neat about these, I actually have high blood pressure, and I was one of the ones that it's really hard to take my blood pressure all the time. It was just inconvenient because you've got to have your cuff with you, you got to strap it on and so on. And then you've got to write the numbers down, or you've got to go into some sort of app that you've downloaded and you've got to type them in there. What's wonderful about these devices is that you can put this on your arm and you actually hit the start button on your phone.
Okay.
So this starts blowing up by pressing a start button on your phone. And when it does the readings, it goes right into your phone so that you can actually email those to your doctor.
Oh, wow.
You can they'll trend them for you. You can say to your doctor, here's my numbers for the past 3 weeks. It made it extremely easy for me personally because all I had to do was strap on the cuff, do the thing, and then I'm off on running, and I know everything's been taken care of.
You don't need another person to help assist take your blood pressure.
No.
Okay.
And I don't need a card to put in my wallet
Sure.
to write it down. It's wonderful.
Perfect.
Yeah. So guess what? So I started taking my blood pressure more,
Very good.
which is what I'm supposed to do.
That's right. Great.
Maybe we can just show this really quick. This is an oximeter. Sometimes people with COPD or other lung conditions, emphysema, sometimes will be checking their oxygen level quite a bit. This one it's no different than that. Usually most oximeters will check your oxygen level and your pulse. This one does it as well, but it has a really nice display, but it's also Bluetooth. So when you have the app loaded on your phone or your iPad or so on, the numbers actually go right in there. So again, if you've got a condition, it's very great for your doctor if you bring in this, you just open your app and say, here's been all my numbers.
Wow, very cool.
So.
Awesome.
Yep.
And is that rechargeable then? It takes the battery? Okay.
Yep, just recharges right here, just like a cell phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Same with the blood pressure cuff. It also recharges and it'll let you know when the battery's running low so that you can plug it in.
Great, fantastic. What else do we have to show?
There's one really cool device that's been out here for a little while. This is called the Cardia Mobile, and this is kind of a narrow use for this. This is for people who have palpitations, or in particular the device was made for people with atrial fibrillation.
Okay.
And one of the things with atrial fibrillation is sometimes the person can feel it or not. But when they do feel it, there's really no way to say to the doctor, to verify it, essentially. So this is a device, and again, you'd open the app, hey Siri, open Cardia. So the Cardia app opens on my phone, and then the device is actually this piece right back here. So I'm going to, let's see if we can do this backwards. This is actually my single lead EKG.
And your fingers are touching the back of the phone.
My fingers are touching the back of it right now.
Okay.
So if I was experiencing my symptoms that were associated with my heart problem, and I wanted to say, is that what's really happening right now? I can record it right now, and then I can send this strip to my doctor or bring it into my doctor, but I can email it at that moment as soon as it's done. And the app also will read it itself. So it'll tell you, it reads it for a minute, and then it'll say, is this normal or is this not normal?
Unbelievable. That is absolutely fascinating. We have maybe a minute left before we have to take another break, but price range for some of these. Can you talk just briefly about what we're talking about for price range for some of the devices, Shireen?
Yeah, well, the device that he just showed, this is about $100. Yeah. There's also the connection devices that you can hook it to your phone, or they have a keychain. They also actually have technology now where it is able to connect to your watch as well. So if you go online, you can actually look up the different options that they have, and it runs from about $100 to $200 for the watch piece of that. The blood pressure cuffs, you can find those as far as some good quality ones for around $80 to $120 for some of these Bluetooth ones. If you have a less sophisticated one that doesn't hook to Bluetooth, then you can run more towards the $30 to $60 range. As far as the pulse oximeter, that one
those are around $50 to $60.
Yeah, money well spent. We'll take a quick break here and we'll come back in just a second. They have a lot more to show us, so don't go away. Welcome back. Dan and Shireen have some more technology to show us. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's dive right in. What's next to show?
Well, we're thinking we would start with some blood sugar monitors.
Oh, excellent.
There are many, many of them out there. This is just one brand, but there are a whole bunch of them out there. And a lot of times people that are diabetic or checking their blood sugar frequently have their own monitor, and that's the one they like to use. And sometimes more technology isn't necessarily better in that case because they're comfortable with that, and that's just fine. But if you want the technology, and if you want to be able to use your smartphone and have all that automatic tracking, some of these are fantastic, and there's just a dearth of them out there online. There's a lot you could do a lot of research on these. You just got to find the one that you like.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's look at that. Yeah. Shireen's going to show you this device here. This is for pain management. A lot of people struggle with pain and take medications and so on, and there's just people often are trying to find a way to decrease their pain. This is a device that has been out now for a couple of years, and it doesn't work for everybody, but it's an interesting technology that is supposed to decrease pain. It's called Quell. It's not for migraines or headaches specifically, but it's for any other type of pain. And I guess if you want to just...
Yeah, well, the Electrode, you actually get their replaceable, so they'll be sticky on the back when you put them on. You will attach it to the little Electrode connectors here, and there's actually within here there's a strap that goes behind your leg, and that'll wrap around there, and it'll send those electric impulses that I guess quickly negate the pain that a lot of people suffer with, so chronic back pain or different aches and pains in your joints. It's definitely proven effective as a non-medication alternative.
Yep.
Excellent option. What's something like that running for cost-wise?
These, I am trying to remember, I believe these are about $200.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the replacement patches, I think, are around like $25.
Okay, good.
So.
Great option, great alternative to possibly medications. So
Yes.
good to know.
So another pain that people often have is low back pain. And there's a very wonderful device that we have found that we've gotten rave reviews on. It's called Better Back. Shireen's going to put that on right now. It's pretty simple. The device is actually the case that it comes in. It was developed by a physical therapist, and everybody that has used this has absolutely loved it. And what it essentially does is it kind of forces you to sit up straight. Now, you certainly could slouch, but it really...
I don't think you could.
She's looking pretty straight to me.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful device. Shireen, how much are those?
These are $50 to $60 that you can find on Amazon.
Okay.
And that's Better Back.
Okay, great, awesome. And can you show us, maybe really quickly too, folding that back up, the packaging that came in, because it's all inclusive.
That makes it great for portability. You can take it to the office with you. You can take it on long trips. Now, obviously, you wouldn't drive with this on, but yeah, if you're the passenger or you're in a plane, this is just a great way to give your low back support. Or women who are pregnant, carrying their weight a little bit different. A lot of good different options.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How about, do you want to talk about, let's do the scales.
Okay.
Let's talk about the scales real quick.
There's a lot of different smart scales out there that will read not only just your weight, but it'll also, again, work Bluetooth with your phone to give you trending, give you a rough idea of body fat percentage. Some of them will even take your heart rate through the bottom of your feet. And what's really fantastic is if you find a brand that you really like and you want to track multiple things, such as your weight, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, you can use one app and all of that can be tracked in one area instead of going to multiple websites or multiple apps on your phone to keep that data all together. So there's a ton of different options. Some of them are very cheap. You can go buy at the store for $30 to $50. They're not going to be as accurate. These are going to run you probably $80 to $100. but they last and they work great.
So folks should just do some research and see what kind of devices can all work together within a same app in order to get that benefit then.
Correct, and that work with their device as well.
Excellent.
So, and all that information is out there for each of these devices.
Okay. Excellent.
Let's talk real quickly about some fitness trackers.
Yes.
Just because it seems like many people have these now. These are both versions of a Fitbit, if you want to talk about those.
Yeah, this one is the Fitbit Blaze. This is the wearable watch that will take your heart rate. It'll track you GPS-wise, again, to see your pace, the steps you take, elevation that you go up and down stairs. That's going to be more prominently displayed. It's a little bit larger, whereas if you want to have something that's a little bit more discreet or easier to use, this one you hardly ever have to charge its battery. So if that's an issue where, you know, I don't want to remember to have to charge my watch every couple days, this one lasts, almost a year, and you can clip it to anything, your belt, anything that you want in your purse, even if you're just tracking the distance that you move. So these are very easy, and again, you can download this right into your website or an app and be able to track any of that through either one of these. So those are just some of the options.
Excellent.
Fitness trackers are, there are so many of them out there now that it is one of those things you want to do research on. And especially if you're just wanting to track steps, there's no use paying $300 for an app or a band. This one, for example, is this Fitness Blaze or Fitbit Blaze, and this was about $300, I think.
Yeah.
But not everybody needs that.
Do your research, figure out what works for you.
Yep.
Thank you guys. I want to thank you so much for being here. I learned a lot. There's just a lot of cool technology out there. Technology is truly starting to transform personal health and fitness. If you're interested in finding out how to use some of these devices to help with your own health and healthcare, please talk with your doctor or simply go online and see what you can find that works for you. That's all the time we have for today. We hope you'll come back next week. Until then, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. Have a great week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.